There, we got audio now, Paul. I thought we had that on. There we go. Got it. That's funny. Anyway, no, you all should be having audio now. Thanks, Christian. Better. Good. Yeah, it's I thought I had the mic on, but I guess alas I did not. Okay, so at any rate, let's do that again, shall we? I'm going to be teaching Good Morning Little Schoolgirl. My arrangement of Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, and I'll play that for you in a little bit. But the donation, you can download the tab. I think the tab is right down there. You can download the tab, tinyurl.com/tab Toby Walker. And if you would be so generous as to donate anything, it could be any amount that you want. There's the donate tab up there, the donate link, and that is same thing, tinyurl.com/, and it says just donate Toby Walker. So I'm glad I'm coming in loud and clear. Thank you, Elder. Paul, thanks for letting me know. Sue, I'm glad to see you're here. And anyway, but I'm going to be giving you things back for certain donations. This is a CD, all digital, and you can see it. It even looks like one of those old Yazoo type CDs, those old covers. All right, that was done by a great graphic designer by the name of David Durr. There's 23 songs on here that I recorded with only one mic in my studio, just the way they did it in the old days, minus the little hisses and cracks and all that stuff. And on top of that, the old traditional songs and old blues tunes, you're going to get a lesson on there. It's a video lesson on how to play Hey Hey Daddy by Blind Blake, which I'm going to be playing later on in concert. So anyway, that's for $15. Now, this so if you donate now, this is it's a set of lessons called Blues Lead Guitar. And I had somebody writing me about this, wanting to learn some blues lead guitar. It's acoustic blues lead guitar. And it has play-along tracks, rhythm tracks, all kinds of really cool licks, and you don't have to break any speed limits to learn how to play really tasty acoustic guitar blues licks. And that normally goes for $34.95. But for a $25 donation, I'm going to send you all of these instructional videos along with the tab. Plus, you get that CD. So you're getting all of that. And then the last but not least, for a $60 donation, you're going to have access to literally every lesson that I have ever produced. And I just finished a new set of slide guitar lessons. And those lessons are going to be available on my Premier membership site. Normally, that's $125 for access for a year. You will get that for only $60. So why don't we get into Good Morning Little Schoolgirl? I want to play this for you, and this is what I'm going to be teaching you all. So this is anyway my arrangement of that. And we'll get into teaching the lesson in a second. So you could have like a whole lot of fun with an arrangement like that. As you can see, there's a solo in there, and basically you can hear the melody going on in Good Morning Little Schoolgirl. And also if you're just singing the song, Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, you could just basically do an alternating bass back and forth, and every now and then just throw in a couple of little notes like that while you're singing it. And then you could use these two things that I just played for you as two different solos. You could put one solo in one somewhere, and one solo is another thing. So you can do that. And thanks, Madam X-Wing. She is a member of the Premier membership, and I'm glad that you really enjoy that. Paul J, no slider. Was that just Fred McDowell? I think the song may have been written. I know Sonny Boy Williamson did it, and lots of people did it. Matter of fact, I learned another version of this from James Son Thomas down in Mississippi, and everybody's done it, and there's even slide guitar to it too. Depends on which version you want to listen to. But McDowell did it with the slide guitar. I'm pretty sure he did it with the slide guitar. Anyway, yeah, I think that was just Fred McDowell, Paul. I'm not sure, but who knows? I mean, lots of people done the song. So let's take a look at the tablature again. You've had some time to download the tab, and if not, you can. It's right up there, your download tab, or down there. So let's take a look at this. The first, if you notice, I'm doing this all in an alternating bass style. Just going back and forth on an E chord with my 6th and my 4th string. But I start off with the lick, so I get that G note, and I'm using my index finger right now to get that. And then I get right into the first full measure. And the first measure sounds like this. So I'm pinching the 6th and the 1st string together. I'm using my middle finger on the 1st string, thumb on the 6th, then I come down on the 4th string, and then I pinch again. Now the next measure sounds like this. So we're kind of repeating that little lick again, but this time we have the alternating bass. So you have the bass. Now your second beat, you're going to hit that 4th string and get that pinky on the high G note. Then bass, open 1st string, and then pinch. So that's slowly, it's... Now in the 3rd measure, it's just like the 1st measure. In the 4th measure, we're going to be adding our pinky onto the 2nd string at that 2nd fret. Listen to this one. So here, what we have is the open 6th string. I'm going to come down on the 4th string and pinch that with the open 2nd. Come back to the 6th string and put my pinky down on the 2nd string at that 2nd fret. Pinch that. And then I usually pick up my pinky and I hit the 4th and open string. So that would sound like this. And that entire line is going to sound like this. All right, so that's the first line in your tablature. The next one is we're going to go into an A7, and we're going to play it like this. We're going to have our 2nd finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and our 3rd finger on the 2nd string at that 2nd fret. So we have that. Here, I'm going back and forth between my 5th string and 4th string. I'm going to be adding my pinky on the 1st string at that 3rd fret, and then I'm going to move it back, tuck it under the 3rd finger at the 2nd fret. So I have this. Okay, so that's how that. Now in the second measure here, I'm going to still stay in this position, but I'm going to be lifting up my third finger, then putting it back down again, then adding my pinky, and then bringing it back again. So here's how this next measure is going to sound. So the bass, low bass, open second string with the fourth, put your finger back down again to the fifth string bass, and then fourth and first. Now in the next measure, I'm going to add that pinky just like we did before, and it's a repeat of the first measure in that second line. So altogether, now that third line is going to sound like this. Just like that. That doesn't look like the Toby 7th you were showing me. Oh, Murray! Yeah. There's all kinds of ways to play the 7th chord, Murray. You know that. All right. So now let's go into our third line. Okay, the third line is going to sound like the first measure. Homer's from Toronto. Hey, Homer. Murray's from Calgary. All right, we got two people from Canada here. Yeah. So anyway, here's our third line. I'm going to be putting in a little blues lick in here. So let's take a look at this one. Oh, and just to let you know, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be doing a concert right here. And some of the tunes I'm going to be doing is my instrumental Swing Bean, tune called Whiskey Store, a Blind Boy Fuller tune called All Around Man, Hideaway by Freddie King, tune so it was requested, Weak-Willed and Easily Led, that I wrote, Keep Your Lamp Trimmed and Burning, Catfish Blues, another one that I wrote called Big Meat Shaking on the Bone. These are slide guitar tunes. Hey Hey Your Daddy by Blind Blake, and I'm going to end it up with a Blind Blake instrumental. Yeah, only 2,000 miles apart. All right, so let's get into that third line here, the first measure. I'm at that E chord again, first string, and fourth string. So I got the two strings on the outside, thumb comes down here. Now I'm going to take my second finger and I'm going to slide it along the third string and stop at the fourth fret. Then I'm going to put down I'm going to use my thumb to do that. Then I'm going to put down my first finger on the second string, third fret, and use my index finger to grab that. And then come down again with my thumb. So it's going to sound. Now in the next measure, I'm going to do that again, and then bring it back and do a lick down here. So here it's just I'm sliding my second finger up, get the D note, back to the B. Now I bring my second finger back. I hit the A note with my thumb, come up with my index to grab the open G, and down with my thumb. So that measure sounds like this. Now at this point, I'm going to the third measure. I just can keep my finger here and just go. So here it's bass, bass, first and sixth string, and then I'm going to come down to the fourth string, but I'm going to add my pinky on the second string, third fret, and pinch those two notes. So that's. Now we get the last measure. So this is sixth string, fourth and second, sixth and second, fourth and second. So now that line, when you practice it, it's going to sound like this. Now I'm going to go into my B7 chord. Here I'm going to be going back and forth between my 5th and my 4th string. Going to be having my pinky on that F sharp note. I'm going to pick it up and then put my pinky out onto the 3rd fret. So this is what this is going to sound like. Then I'm going to pick it up. There's the next measure, and it's going to next measure is going to be like this. So here we have thumb. On the upbeat, grab the F sharp, and then 2 bass notes. So we have. So that whole B7 segment is going to sound like. Now I'm going to lower my 2nd finger down here to get in my A7 chord. I don't need my 3rd finger in here because my pinky is going to do all the work for the next 2 measures. So I have that thumb, add my pinky, bass, pick my pinky up, put the pinky down on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and then, so I'm bringing that open 2nd string on the upbeat. Listen. So that those 2 A7 lines sound like this. And then finally we get into our last line, which kind of just brings it home. Oh, sorry. Ah. There we go. So let's take a look at this one. It has a nice little turnaround in it, right? E chord. Now I can slide my finger up to that 4th fret on the 3rd string and go and get my 1st finger on the D note and then bring that back, bring it back again, and then back to my E chord and B7. So that now here you can, after you hit that last measure with the B, you can go right into and go right back to the beginning. Okay, so that's if you want to do another verse like that. However, if you want to go on to do a solo, you're just going to hit that B note and then you're going to go into the solo. So that's what we're going to cover now in the 2nd page of our tablature. Okay, here I'm going into what I like to call the money chord. And if anybody's taken a workshop with me, when I do the money chord, okay, they'll know that chord and then the whole little shtick that I do along with that chord. But really, what it is, it's like a D shape, okay, but played at the 7th fret. Now, this works really great in the blues, and I'll tell you why. Technically, it's an E minor 7. But in the blues, it's got both the flat 3, the G note, and the flat 7 there together. And then you get your 2nd finger in there and you get the B note in there. And then you get your root down here. And if you take that chord, just you can kind of squeeze it into the fingerboard a little bit and let the strings just come up a little bit. It's a great little chord. Now that would be used against an E. And the way you can always figure where, if you're in a different key, where would you put this, is that your 1st finger on that 3rd string is just a whole step away from the root or the key that you're in. So if I was doing this in the key of E, there's my E note. I'm going to start my little blues chord, the money chord there, and go. Now, if I was doing an A, I'd need to find an A note on that third string. Now, I have one down here, but it's not going to work as well. If I was to put that, look at that A note here, and then go 2 frets back and form that little shape. You got it there too. You could do the same thing against a G chord, yeah. So you get an idea of just put that 2 frets behind the root note on the third string, and you got the money going on. Okay, so that's the. Anyway, I use that chord in this solo that I put together. So at the top of the second page, it sounds like this. Here we go. Now, there's 2 ways you can play that. You can play that just, I'm using my 3 fingers to grab that. However, you know, you can use your thumb pick strumming down. You could use 1 finger strumming up. Doesn't have to be too clean. Like that. Either way, you'll get the effect. Then I hit the next measure is open first and second strings. And I come down here and I do this lick. So that lick should be familiar to you by now. That lick was on the first page. So these first 2 measures sound like this. And I do that again in the next 2 measures. So you do that basic lick twice. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my finger on that 4th string at the 2nd fret, and I'm going to play this. Now, we also did that in the first page. Keeping my 2nd finger right there, okay, I'm going to get into that A7 chord that we did on the first page. And this is your 2nd line. There's your first measure. So it's pinky out there. Remember, alternate the bass between your 5th and 4th string. Now in the next measure, it sounds like this. So we have this. And now here I just do this little bass lick. So here I switch my position over, and I'm really playing a bit of a major pentatonic. I'm getting a little C sharp in there, but with my thumb I come down on the 4th string and right up with my index finger on the 4th string. Then C sharp, B, and then a G note. You could even pull that down a little. So that whole line's going to sound like this. That takes you down into that 3rd line where again we have the lick that should be familiar to you. And the next measure in, I'm going to be doing the same lick but a little tiny change. So now I'm getting the B note here, the D note, thumb, index, and I use my middle finger to grab that 1st string. Then back to here again. So that lick sound. Keeping my 2nd finger in place. There's that lick again. So we have a lot of repeating licks in here. So that whole 3rd line is going to sound like this. now instead of going to, this is my fourth line, instead of going to a B7 here, I'm going to take my first finger and bar it across the first 4 strings at that 4th fret. I'm going to add my pinky up to the B note on the first string at the 7th fret. So this B chord is... And here, I'm going to alternate the bass between my 4th and 3rd string, but I'm going to bring this note down to make it a B7 chord. So I have this. This is your 4th line, 1st measure and 2nd measure. So we have a pinch, bring it back, and now here I'm going to add my 2nd finger, and I'm going to listen to this measure slowly. So here I'm grabbing the 4th and 1st string, coming down with my thumb and 1st finger on the 3rd and 2nd, and then coming up quickly with my middle finger on the 1st string. So I have, and then, now I come back to my A7 chord, and here I'm going to be really getting this, so I have that. So here I'm really getting my pinky out there and then just picking it up again. I'll play that 3rd measure in slowly. And you could put a little juice into it, but just pushing that string up just a little bit. Then pick it up, and here's your last measure in that line. And then finally, we go back to our E chord, and we do this little turnaround. So let's just take a look at this. An E note, another E note. Now I'm going to come up to a B and a G sharp, and I'm going to go 3rd string, 1st string, 3rd string. Now I'm going to bring this back, but I'm going to pick up my 3rd finger and go, so 3rd string, 2nd string, 1st string. Now I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to put down my 3rd finger again and go. So we have, finally, now at this point you could go right back again, okay? However, if you wanted to end the song, you don't have to go to the B7 chord. So that's the way that I teach Good Morning Little Schoolgirl. I'm going to play a little bit of it, but now I'm just going to improvise a little bit, okay? While I'm doing that, if you so desire, you can send a donation to me. I think that the donation link is the donate tab right down there. There's the donate tab. But I'm going to just play a little bit and kind of improvise a little bit. So... Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the lesson. It's going to stay on Facebook. It's going to stay up on my YouTube channel, and it's also going to be on my Twitch TV channel. Um, all the links should be provided up on my Facebook page. That's I keep all the links there. Thanks, Madam X Wing. Okay. Upstairs, Dave. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. And the tab is going to be up there for the remainder of the week. Tonight at 7 p.m., I'm going to be doing a full blown concert, probably about 9 or 10 songs. And I'm also going to be, again, I'm offering all those same things that I'm offering for the donations. So I hope you enjoyed this. Oh, big news. This is the big news before you go. I'm going to be featured, cover story featured in the magazine, the online magazine now, the Blues Blast. Blues Blast, I'm going to be featured in there. And at 4 o'clock, the reporter for there is going to be calling me up and doing an interview. And all of that is going to be up on the web, and I'll let you all know. You can shoot me an email, tobywmusic@gmail.com. That's tobywmusic@gmail.com, and you can ask to be on my mailing list, and I'll let you know when that article comes out, and I can send you the link to that. I'll put it up on my Facebook page. I'm going to put it up on my website, littletobywalker.com. And I just finished completing an advanced slide guitar set of lessons called Slide Guitar Power 2, or maybe more Slide Guitar Power, and that should be available in a couple of weeks. So anyway, I hope you had a great time, folks. Thanks, Christian. Glad it was a pure delight. Mike, thank you very much. Oh, Twitch was working fine. Good. I never know if Twitch is actually going to be working fine from one time to the other, but I think we're all good. Okay, folks. So take care, and I will see you be later on here tonight doing some what you call it, some playing, yeah, Mitch. Thank you. I'm glad that worked out. Okay, you're very welcome, Sue, and I'll see you all. Later on. Bye bye. Mitch, it's all up there. It'll be up on Facebook.